evening and welcome to Match of the Day, which tonight is really a very special one because today we've been privileged to see here at Wimbledon one of the matches that obviously is destined to go down in Wimbledon history as one of the great battles of all time. The match today between Cliff Richey of the United States, the number 6 seed, 24 years old, and Ken Rosewall, the number 3 seed, losing finalist last year, who's been coming to Wimbledon since 1952 and has never won the men's singles and is now 36 years old, 12 years older than his opponent today. And these two produced a match which is going to live in the minds of everybody who was lucky to be here today to see it. Now you can dismiss really the first 2 sets of this simply by saying that it looked pretty well all up with Ken Rosewall after 2 sets. Richey won the first 2 sets, 8-6, 7-5. And by the time they got to the third, it looked as though he was romping away to a straight sets victory. We're now going to join it in that third set with Richey leading by 4 games to 2, 2 sets to love up, and Rosewall to serve.
Love 15. Love 30. First service. Fifteen 30. Out. 30 all.
Fine rally, and Rosewall springing up very high for the final stroke, the high backhand volley.
Games to 3. Richey leads the third set.
So a spirited recovery by Rosewall there, coming from love 30 with 4 points for a 40-30 game.
And we had one particularly wonderful point in that game, and let's see that again on our action replay. This is the 30-all point here. Deuce, Kenny Rosewall gets a nice deep ball in there as Cliff throws a great lob back. Kenny almost was going to take it, and here's where he hits his backhand drive. As Richey, I think, wanted to come in there, but just couldn't get it up. He thought he was going to go into the net. Back comes Rosewall down the line with a lot of slice. And here's a great cross-court topspin forehand, which Kenny's really very fortunate to reach, and he comes up with the half volley. Now goes up a fairly easy one, which Kenny thankfully puts away for a great finishing point. So from love 30, Kenny pulled that serve out. Kenny Rosewall really in trouble as Cliff Richey, and I haven't heard of any rumors about Ken having any back problems, but he is certainly making like there is something wrong in that area. But 2 sets to love, Richey leads and 4-3 in the third set.
15 love.
Usually such a precise and sharp volley, a rapier-like forehand volley, usually Rosewall, but today it isn't quite there.
Oh. 15 all.
And it's the tactic by Rosewall that has broken so many service games against him in the past.
(15-14).
An excellent call. Just a fraction.
Game to Rosewall. Change the ball. Four games all, the third set.
Those two sets to Richey, and what a piece of luck for Kenny Rosewall, as they've been on court for just 2 hours and 3 minutes. So, can that lift him into a really fighting recovery? Giving 12 years away, finding one or two of his favourite shots, not quite there today, but his backhand down the line gave Cliff Richey a great deal of trouble in the service game there. So new balls for Rosewall as he serves.
Love 15. Love 30.
And Richey there in the highest possible form gives an indication why he's America's #1 and the world, the unofficial world, #7.
(15-30). (15-14). (30-14). Deuce. Advantage, Rosewall. Oh. Deuce.
And that's the first double fault that either man has served since early in the first set. The third one by Rosewall. And two his opponent has served. Rosewall not liking the photographers jumping up to take him, going back for that very awkward deep lob right in the middle of his positioning when they moved up to take the smash.
Deuce.
Ken's certainly giving himself these problems in these close games on his own serve. He's just not getting any of his first ones in. He actually should put one in his pocket and serve his second one first.
Yes.
Advantage, Rosewall.
A bold shot to play there.
Game to Rosewall. Five games to 4. Rosewall leads the third set.
Having come back from
Richey
2-4
by 2 sets to love.
Having come back from 2-4 to 5-3, 5-4, Rosewall.
There are so many good points in that particular last game. I think there was a second point in the game that was really worth playing once again on the action replay, as we see some real marvelous all-court play with Rosewall at the net. Richey got the ball cross court. Kenny wanted to wrong foot him there down the line. He gets it. Looks like Kenny's going to fall there, but he just covers. He gets another one. Finally goes through the racket. And although Cliff won that point, Ken Rosewall, after many, many trials and tribulations, came through with a very, very tough game. Now we see Kenny going down. And as I said, Dan, I haven't heard any rumors of anything being wrong with Ken except this problem with the pollen, but he's doing some stretching there that would indicate that something in his lower sacroiliac area would be perhaps a little tied up. Great comeback by Rosewall here, winning 3 in a row, so it's Richey trying to stay in this third set. He won the first 2.
Oh. Love 15.
A really great point by Rosewall there.
Oh.
Foot forward on the second service. And that's the second time that in the match that Richey has been foot-faulted on the second service.
Oh. Oh. Love 40.
So 3 set points for Ken Rosewall. Good volley.
(15-40).
Still 2 set points for Rosewall.
Oh. (30-40).
So set point again for Rosewall.
So Rosewall had at least got it back to 2-1, but obviously it was still going to be an uphill struggle for him. And at this point, I don't think anybody in the world could have predicted just what still was in store for us. We're now going to rejoin it in the 4th set. The score now 6 games all, and it's Rosewall again to serve.
Love 15. Oh. (15-all).
What a great smash off the bouncing lob by Rosewall, really getting the width of the court.
(15-30).
And the lob right on the back edge of the line.
(15-40).
Wonderful running pass on the forehand by Richey.
Game to Richey. 7-6. Richey leads in the fourth set.
They've given us, these two players, fine ground stroke play, some great service returns. Consequently, we've had tremendous and excellent rallies of the all-court kind, and they've restored once again the belief that players today are really beginning to pay more attention to ground strokes. Here are two chaps who've really been a model in that department. So, it's Cliff Richey serving for the match.
Love. All.
What a quick recovery on the service return by Rosewall. That deep service bringing up the chalk there.
Forty. Thirty, 40. All, the fourth set.
And what a tremendous break of service by Rosewall, and how well that backhand down the line on the return of services paid Rosewall. It's been one of his most effective shots today. 7-all then, fourth set.
Quiet, please.
2-1 Richey.
Love. Oh. Love.
I don't think many people around the centre court thought Rosewall was ever going to pick that one up, let alone control it.
40 love. Game to Rosewall. Eight games to 7. Rosewall leads in the fourth set.
And we just saw Ken
Richey
Rosewall
leads by 2 sets to 1.
go up and I'm sure apologize to the net court judge on that wide ball he hit down the line, caught the net court judge right in the right ear. Kenny Rosewall played a superb game back there to break that serve, and Cliff Richey, I think, made a mistake by not really coming in on that first serve, because the minute he missed his serve, or if he stayed back on the ground stroke, Ken came in immediately hoping to get a ball in the air, which he did, and he volleyed extremely well, hit a couple of smashes, and that's why he is in this present position, leading 8 games to 7. And Dan, I don't know whether my heart will take a tiebreaker, but I'm just offering up the information that should Cliff Richey win this game, making it 8-all, we would go into the tie-breaking situation. 2 sets to 1. Richey leads, but he has to hold serve to stay in here.
Love 15. Oh. $15 all.
Seemed to me that first point took so much out of Ken that he needs a little bit of a breather here. He's really blowing.
$15-30. $15-14.
Well, you can't keep much cooler than that, Rosewall. So 2 set points for Rosewall.
First service.
Top.
Game and fourth set for Rosewall.
So now, amazingly, it was 2 sets all, and we came to the decider. And this, even now, had things in store for us that we still couldn't have predicted. Let's go back to this astonishing match now. Final set, Rosewall this time leading 5 games to 4, and Richey having to serve now to save the match.
Football batting court.
$15 love.
And this will really cause a disturbance, as there is no call on that. Ken Rosewall did not attempt a stroke, feeling it was that far out.
First service. Oh. 15 all.
Really was a supreme backhand pass by Rosewall.
All. 40-30.
Marvelous recovery by Cliff on that great backhand down the line.
Quiet, please. Advantage, Rosewall.
So, match point for Rosewall.
Dan, I really feel that Cliff has been bothered tremendously psychologically by the great number of foot faults he's been called. He just doesn't feel comfortable because he's called when he's usually going into the net, and it's affecting his service.
Richey.
Well, that was one of the greatest smashes in the late stage of a championship match that I've seen. It was a great lob by Rosewall.
Deuce.
Well disguised forehand by Rosewall. Really wrong footing and unbalancing Richey.
Advantage, Rosewall.
So for the second time, match point for Rosewall.
Deuce. Advantage Rosewall.
So that sixth double fault by Cliff Richey gives Rosewall his third match point. So for the fourth time, match point for Rosewall.
Advantage Richey. Game for Richey. Games all, final set.
Well, there were 6 deuces in that extraordinary game. 4 times Rosewall had match point. A remarkable piece of play by Richey. 5-all then, final set.
Love 15.
And just to let everybody know that in case they do get to 8-all in the set, there will be no tie break. This goes right to the finish.
all. $15-30.
Such a good deep approach volley by Richey, forcing Rosewall to play that awfully difficult half volley.
$15-40.
Rosewall having the court at his command there, having played those wonderful angles. $30-40. What a gamble Rosewall took there as he was under pressure himself and went for an outright winning backhand and got away with it. So from 15-40 back to deuce.
Advantage, Rosewall. Oh. Game to Rosewall.
I'm afraid, Dan, when they start talking about the all-time great matches here at Wimbledon, most people that I've talked to have felt that the Gottfried von Cram-Donald Budge match, I believe it was a Davis Cup affair in 1937, ranks as the best. Gonzales-Passerelle for a fight, but I doubt if anything will ever surpass what we've been able to see here so far in almost 4 hours. 5 minutes short of 4 hours as once again Richey serves to save this match.
Love 15. All. Oh. (15-13).
That miss at double fault makes a total of 7 for Richey.
All. Oh.
So that attacking play by Rosewall gives him his 5th match point. and the whole centre court standing as these two great players go off the court after what was without question a historic match. And the score to Rosewall, 6-8, 5-7, 6-4, 9-7, 7-5.
Kenny, that was a wonderful contest and a quite fantastic win. How on earth did you manage to pull that one out?
Well, I didn't think I would, Peter, the way it was going, but I felt that I could only get better. I was really not quite happy the way Cliff was playing at the beginning. He was just playing far too good for me. I was a little bit off, but I was kind of keep telling myself that, well, for me to get in this match, I'd have to play better, and I think that's what happened.
When you were 2 sets down, I don't suppose all that number of people around centre court gave all that much for your chances. Now, how did you feel at that point, 2 sets behind?
No, I felt I was still in it because the first 2 sets had been close, and yet I didn't think I'd played that well. And as I say, Cliff, in my mind, had played very well. He hadn't missed any shots. He'd passed pretty well from forehand and backhand. And I thought, well, it might just happen to change. And even though I was down in the third
2-4 in the
yes, I still really didn't think I was out of it. I thought if I could just scratch around long enough and just happen to get a bit lucky and maybe get this 3rd set, I could still well be in it. And I think as the match progressed along those lines, I think I could feel Cliff getting that feeling, well, gee, it's getting close, I'm getting a bit tighter, and I might lose this match after leading 2 sets to love. And of course, that's what happened. Even in the 5th set, I felt, well, even if I can hang on to my serve a bit, I might just happen to scratch this in.
What did you feel when 4 match points went down the drain?
Well, a bit of a letdown, you know. I had my opportunities there and just really didn't play the right shot. I told myself twice there I wanted to hit a backhand down the line, and twice they went back cross-court where he hit a volley. But fortunately on the 5th one, was it? 5th one? I hit a backhand down the line, so that was it.
Just how tired did you feel when you came off court, Kenny?
Well,
let me rephrase that. When did you feel most tired during the contest? When did you feel really down?
Well, I was getting to be a little bit weary towards the end of the last set. I could feel the muscles tightening up a little bit because we'd run a few miles out there, and it's not every day we play a 4-hour match. And I think now a good day to recover, and I'll feel well.
You feel quite happy that you're going to recover in good time for the next match against the champion?
Yes, I look forward to playing John. I think, well, at least I'm telling myself I'm going to play better, and I look forward to a good match.
What are the problems of playing John, though, as opposed to playing Cliff Richey?
Well, they both play similar in a way. They're both very methodical players, both good forehand volleys, forehand drive. John's a little bit better in service. And of course he's got a great record behind him. Cliff probably moves around the court a little bit quicker than John. But I think John and I can play a good match. We haven't really played much this year, but the once we did, it was close.
Do you think you can beat him this time?
I think I can.
And what's the programme now? A nice quiet dinner and...
Nice quiet dinner. I'll probably ring my family at home in Sydney and say hello and hope everyone's well.
And I dare say you might sleep pretty well tonight.
I think I will too, yes.
Thank you very much, Ken.
Good, thanks, Peter.
Well, Jack Kramer's here with me now, and I think the first thing one ought to put to Jack is what sort of problem does it give Rosewall, having had this tremendous 5-setter today, which went to 64 games, and he's got to come on court again on Thursday to face a very tough match with Newcombe.
Well, Harry, where Ken Rosewall is concerned, you certainly can't sell him short after what we saw him do today when it looked like he was in the coffin and everything but covered up there. I'd have to think, however, though, that tomorrow will be a very, very restful day for him. No doubt he'll get an extra massage and maybe even go to the trouble of loosening up just a little bit, maybe just trot around and so forth. And that he will be lucky in a way that he's out of the doubles. You know, last year when he played John Newcombe in the finals, he played almost a 3-hour doubles match. So in a way, this day off might let him go into the match on Thursday against Newcombe this year in better shape than even last year. I'd have to feel that he has the recuperative powers because he has led such a good athletic life that he is going to make it, if anybody could, and be in very fine shape there on Thursday.
Did you feel yourself, I suppose you must have done that, when he was 2-4 down in the 3rd set, Kenny, that the writing was on the wall?
Well, I would have said he was a 50-to-1 chance at that point because he looked very tired even then. He'd completely lost the feel on his forehand volley. He wasn't getting his first serve in. And it was just remarkable how every time he had to come out of a love 30 or 15-40 situation, something would happen the way he wanted it. Then he finally got his ground strokes going, and the backhand return of serve started to really eat into Richey. And from there on, why, I thought that the breaks are fairly even. The thing that comes to my mind, however, as the biggest point in the match was that call that came at, I believe, 3-all in the 5th set with advantage to Richey. Cliff thought the ball was out. It was a ball down the line. Kenny Rosewall hung around a little bit because he's such a great sport and actually wanted the linesman, if he wanted to change his decision. The linesman stayed firm. Kenny went on to win that game and, of course, closed out the match later on.
What about the foot faulting that Richey was having there? What impression did you get of that?
Well, he was called 11 times in all, twice on the second serve. And in asking Cliff immediately after the match, why didn't you go over and find out why you were being called? He said, I was concentrating so hard, I just dismissed it. He said, I was very, very lucky that I didn't get mad about it because it didn't affect me, except that I've got afraid of serving and going into the net, which is what I think cost him the match. He had 7-6 and he didn't go in once in 10 points, or he did just go in once. I would have to say that Cliff has a fault of turning his left heel into the court, and it doesn't look like it. He's touching it with the front. It has to be in the back of the shoe, and it's just bad break. The thing that I was so pleased about is that he has completely mastered his old fault, which he used to lose his temper and disposition, in fact lose a lot of matches because he'd get mad. Today he stayed in there and concentrated 100%, and he'll be a better player from now on for this performance.
What sort of state was he in when he came off court? Because you saw him pretty soon afterwards.
Well, the interesting thing is to see the comparison between Kenny and, of course, Cliff. All Cliff said to me, he said, it was a good fight, wasn't it? I said, yes, I'm really proud of you. And he said, well, when is our Grand Prix committee going to have that meeting? I understand we're going to meet tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. So he'd forgotten the loss, although everybody was coming around to tell him what a tough bunch of luck it was. And he did go back to one thing. He said, you know, I did the same thing. I had him 5-2 in Cincinnati. This was last year in the Western Championships. And I didn't attack him when I had him down. And he didn't do that a couple of times when he was ahead. He should have attacked a little more, and he might have come out the winner.
It's just amazing that Rosewall at 36 can produce this sort of thing, isn't it?
Well, you know, the way the court's playing, Harry, made this kind of a match possible because the defense was the thing. The boys could really return all the serves, and they could chase down the volleys. I think the court, because it is dead, will help Ken Rosewall even against John Newcomb. It's taking a lot out of the serve and a lot out of the volleyer. So if Kenny can recuperate, and it's going to be very difficult, because of the court, it plays more like a dirt court, and both these fellows are better on dirt, really, than they are on grass. So in a way, I think it helped the style of play that we saw, which was so exciting, a lot better than that slam-bang serve and volley style. And as I say, physically, if Kenny gets himself back in shape, this court will help him against John.
Well, John Newcomb won his match today against Colin Dibley, the unseeded Australian. In fact, not only won it, but he absolutely slammed Dibley into the ground. 6-1, 6-2, 6-3. So this now is the lineup in the men's singles semi-finals. Tom Gorman, the unseeded American who beat Laver, plays Stan Smith, the number 4 seed from the United States, and John Newcomb, last year's champion, plays Kenny Rosewall, the number 3 seed. Well, tomorrow, of course, we shall see the ladies' semi-final, and this is the lineup there. Margaret Court, last year's champion, plays the unseeded Judy Dalton, fellow Australian, and another Australian, Yvonne Goolagong, the number 3 seed, plays Billie Jean King, former champion, and this year the number 2 seed. So both those matches you'll be seeing tomorrow on BBC One, and we shall be back again tomorrow night with highlights in Match of the Day at 10 past 10. Good night.